Radio Cardiff 98.7.
Yeah, it done know.
What we're going to do now, we're going to head straight into that interview with Lost Alone. I'm talking to Steven from Lost Alone. We're going to be talking about his the band's new album, Shapes of Screams, available April the 7th. The UK headline tour, where they'll be playing shows across the UK in April, especially in Swansea on the 6th, in Sin City. And then after that, we'll be playing their brand new single they released yesterday online, Scarlet Letter Realms. So, let's go.
Hey guys, this is Steven from Lost Alone and you're listening to Mr. Morgan Richards on Radio Cardiff 98.7 FM.
Hey, I'm Morgan Richards from Radio Cardiff 98.7 FM. I'm very pleased to say that I'm backstage at the Fleece here in Bristol. I'm joined by the wonderful Steven from Lost Alone.
How you doing?
Hey man, you right?
Yeah, I'm great, thank you. Happy to be here with you.
Yeah?
Yep, very happy. Final date of the tour. So actually a little bit sad. So completely contradicting what I've just said, in fact. But yeah, happy to talk about our record anyway. So yeah.
Okay, right, fair enough. So you guys have just recently announced that you're all set to finally release your third full-length studio album, Shapes of Screams, on April the 7th. And I bet you guys can't wait for it to finally be released because you finished writing it almost a year ago.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a bit of a trademark of our band that we tend to have everything finished and then some kind of dramatic event will occur that will actually mean that the record doesn't come out at the, I think what I'm trying to say is that I've always had this dream that like you could write a record in a week and release it the next week, so it's the most current thing you've done. Whereas that never really happens for anyone, like even when we went away and recorded the record, there's one song that's older than the last album, but then 8 of the songs I literally wrote in 2 weeks. So it's always a weird thing. And then when it actually the point now where when it comes out, it will be a year since we started recording it. It's just I think it's kind of strange. The modern age has made things faster, but it's also in this kind of thing because you have to have everything so right for release. And there's certain points that are deemed correct to release a rock record. I would have released it for Christmas because I love Christmas, but you don't do that. April's the time for us. So yeah, it does feel a bit strange, but it also feels very normal for us.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. And not so long ago, you released a brand new single in The Bells. That would be the main track released from this album. With a lot of fans giving it some great feedback and saying that they're very excited to see what you guys have in store for the rest of the record.
Yeah, I think the three of us, when I wrote The Bells, we were very whatever else came out, we were like, we want that to be the first thing people hear, because you always have like between records, as I think we have, there's always a song that is the kind of, I'll be writing new songs, but then one will go, oh right, okay, that's pushed it to the wave beyond what we were before. So and I was really, really happy when the reaction was like so positive from fans of the band, and then from just by putting that out there, just new people. More than anything we've ever done before, it seemed to suddenly get people going, oh wow, or maybe I've heard that name before, but I wasn't quite sure they were kind of capable of that, or I don't know, how people thought of us, but I was really excited, and it's definitely instantly brought a whole new kind of, I think, respect to our band, and from other bands as well, actually. A really, really nice feeling, yeah.
And the track seems a little bit different than some of the previous stuff you guys have released in the past, with it being a little bit darker and having a lot more big guitar parts. Do you think that's a good representative of what we can expect from the rest of the record?
Yeah, well, I mean, I wanted to call the album Guitar for ages. It was just going to be called Guitar, because it's kind of strange, because, I mean, we are a guitar band, and it's very live, that's very apparent, but I kind of feel that maybe in hindsight, the first, especially the last album, which I love, and I love the songs, but I wrote the last album just demoing straight into GarageBand, and I realised in hindsight now, they're very much just kind of like songs that I can tell were done that way, whereas this album, I made a point of like only going to demo stuff after it was a fully formed song in my head. I hadn't even touched an instrument, and I just wanted to, I kind of guess what I'm trying to say, yes is the answer. I wanted it to be a guitar record, because that's what all the comments when our live reviews always mention guitar, and I think that I love all music, but I think that like after Nirvana, it's taken a very long time, and who I love, but it's taken a very long time for it to be a cool thing to be a very capable musician. You know, that kind of, even though that's a long time ago now, but it really, you know, went for a long time where it was like doing fancy guitar stuff or whatever was like, whoa, that's not cool. And now, like, I mean, I don't even see myself as a great guitar player, but other people do, which is really nice, because I'd much rather somebody come up and go, which they are doing at the moment, oh my god, I love that, you know, guitar, and then coming up and going, I like your hair, which to me is just like, you know, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I want people to talk about songs and the melodies and the playing, because that's what I love. You know, I love music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair enough.
I'm not sure if that even answered the question, but I just go off on rants about stuff.
Okay. Now you guys will actually be releasing the album through PledgeMusic, which is, of course, is a website that lets bands take complete control of everything from the recording right down to its release, with the help of fans pledging to help make the record happen. So far, have you guys found it much easier working with a site like this?
Yeah, I mean, I was very reluctant to use it actually to start with, because there's a kind of, I had the moral issue of, are we asking people who like our band too much here? But also, we're actually on a label, a small label, but we're on a label, so the idea for us was we actually had the money. The pledge thing hasn't necessarily funded us making the record. We made it before, you know, you still don't get the money from pledge till you release. Yeah. But what it did for us was, when, and I've spoken to a few bands who've done it like this, you always have the same conversation with pledge, and they explain it so well. All you're effectively doing is just going, here's a pre-order, but we're actually giving you way more than you'd get. And we didn't want to do anything. We made ours so it wasn't anything that you wouldn't necessarily not just get with a normal pre-order. Do you know what I mean? Mm. It was the usual things. It was like a vinyl or with a t-shirt, things that you'd get anyway on a pre-order, and then some house shows, you know, and then just cool things. But yeah, I definitely found from the second it went up, I became convinced, because as soon as I started seeing fans actually go, we love this stuff and we want to be involved, I was like, this is a brilliant thing. And you know, we were on Warner Brothers in America until everyone we worked with was sacked, and that's why we're not on them anymore. And I lived 18 months of not sleeping constantly, because we were signed in America, like constantly living the UK and then the American time zones, and just feeling so disconnected with a major label that, you know, I think the Jared Leto film Artifact is incredible. I don't know if you've seen it, but everyone should watch it, because that explains absolutely perfectly why Pledge is great and why major labels now are just a dinosaur that is dying. And it works for some people who are already massive, but guarantee massive bands now come to the end of their contracts will not re-sign with majors. There's no point. They're just a complete, like, they should be in an archaeological dig, you know. There's nothing they bring to the table apart from things that you can actually, if you're doing well, you can source yourself. You know, you can get PR, you can get radio pluggers, you can do that. They'll just end up being distribution, which is the one avenue that if it's still a physical thing, they are good at. They've got the pipeline into every, you know, territory. But yeah, so the to answer your question, the major factor for me is with Pledge, I just feel relaxed. I know exactly what's going on. I know exactly everything about it. With the smaller label, you know, everyone, they're doing it because they love the music. With a major label, I'm not saying there's not great people there, but for the majority, it's people worried about their jobs, and then the people at the top, just, it's the bottom line. You know, it's about money. Yeah. It's not about music anymore. It's not the 70s when it was, you know, give bands a chance to fail on 4 albums, you know, and then have a hit on a 5th. You know, now you stand no chance. You know, if I'm released on a major and didn't do well, then they're over. You know. Yeah,
because a lot of bands nowadays seem to be doing more stuff like this, and it's also a great way for the fans to feel really involved in part of the album.
I think it's kind of win-win, because it's your fan. If I could survive solely on just going direct to fans and going literally on Twitter, hey guys, just wrote an album today, because I'm very prolific and I see this as the future. You know, music is my living, so I can't just go, here it is. But if you love my band, or if you just love my music, here's a solo album. You can download an album now. It's £5. Go for it. That'll make people like myself and artists, you don't have to, like, you know, it doesn't have to be like you're some million selling band. That'll mean that artists you love can keep being the artists, because the reality is it's harder now. Like the last, you know, a band like Muse or something, probably the last Muse, Biffy, bands like that, the last bands that the major major label system worked for them, because they were allowed to develop. Look at Biffy, how long it took them to get to the level they are now. A new band today is not going to be given that opportunity. No. It's just not at all, and it's horrid. But that era's gone now, where a label will develop a band for years and just believe in the music. It's a lot more exciting with the things like Pledge and Kickstarter, and then, to be honest, things like the guy who owns Red Bull, who's like, he doesn't care if he fails. He's like, I like that, I'll just keep pumping money into it. And that's, I think you're going to find things like that, like companies, self-made guys, or men and women who've made money, like maybe like yourself or me. If I had like millions of pounds, I'd be like, I love that band, you know what, I'm just going to fund them. And that's I think it's going to be things like that. And Red Bull's a great example, because they made Twin Atlantic massive, because they just went, just keep pumping it in, and great band, doing great with great support,
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. That's fair enough. Now, you guys actually worked with producer Dan Weller on this record. What was it like to work with him? Because recently he's worked on some incredible albums by UK bands, including the likes of Enter Shikari, Kissing Glass Houses and Young Guns.
Yeah, it was really cool, actually. What I liked about it initially was that he came to us. He's very in demand because of these albums he's worked on. And he heard a song of ours on Zane Lowe and tweeted, wow, really want to work with you guys. And it was a year later that we went in the studio together, and we'd said we wanted to, and we got it all together. And we hit it off instantly. People might not realise, but one of the key elements of being able to work on a record with a producer, because sometimes you've only just met the guy, is it's the humour level. You've got to find the same things funny. Yeah. You've got to be on the same wavelength, and we were instantly on the same wavelength with Dan. And he just was incredible. The thing you said about the guitar thing, he's a great guitar player, and he comes from a band with a lot of guitars, sixth, and I just said to him, I want the guitars to be very prominent on this record. And that was the only instruction. And the other instruction, I'm just contradicting myself, the other only instruction was, when we think we've gone too far, we just want to go one step further. That was the real mandate of the album. When when I've done like 200 harmonies on one part, let's just do 210. And that was factual, on the record. So yeah, it was a great experience working with Dan. I'm pretty sure we'll do our next record with him as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, right, awesome. Now, while we're actually talking about producers, one thing I wanted to mention to you guys is the fact that when you were recording your second studio album, I'm a UFO in the City, back in 2010 in Los Angeles, you guys actually had the incredible former frontman of My Chemical Romance, Jared Way, work as an executive producer on that record.
Yeah, that's right. It was really cool. He out of the blue got through to us that he was a massive fan of our first record. Okay. Which is kind of cool, I mean, anyone being a fan of your music's great. And we had a lot of things going on between our first and second album, and his role was basically I sent him over the period of 3 days about 100 demos that I'd done, and then me and him went back and forth choosing what, he had an ear of what he thought this should be on the record, and we kind of agreed anyway. And then he was very fundamental in getting the actual people who produced it. Gerard used his name for us to go to producers that probably wouldn't have been interested or wouldn't have even got to know about us, and he went to them and they pick up the phone, and he's like, you need to check out his band. And then so that was his thing. He was like his exact quote himself actually was, he was like almost an enabler rather than executive producer. He was like, I love your band, I think you're important, I want people to hear it, I'm going to make sure people do. And that was great, and I've got nothing but positive things to say about Gerard. Absolutely one of the most creative people I've ever met, and great guy.
Okay,
yeah,
right, awesome. And as you said a little bit earlier on, today is the final date of your tour with the Blackout. We've been playing many dates across the UK with them.
Yeah.
How's the tour been?
It's been brilliant. We'd met the guys before on the My Chem tour, actually, Danger Days, and then, as seems to be the thing now, if you're extremely good at tweeting and funny, etc., you end up gravitating towards other people like that. And me and Sean had seemed to have become friends without really knowing each other, just by liking each other's humour levels on Twitter. And they did something beautiful for me at the Kerrang Awards. I'm a big Queen fan, and their table was next to the table where Brian May and Roger Taylor were sat, so they dragged me down to the table, so I had an even closer position. And then there was a funny moment when Brian May high-fived me when he was getting his award, and then one of the guys out of Blackout got his GarageBand out quickly and just told me to play anything with that hand, just because it would kind of be channeling the Brian Mayness. And so it's one of the things where we got on well. We'd seen each other about, just doing stuff, and they asked us to do a tour, and we've just become better friends because we weren't like close friends, but we've had a really good time. They're great guys, great band, and they're very, very similar story stroke work ethic to us. It's we're in this for the right and the same reasons as them. It's all about music and wanting to do it.
Okay, awesome. And one thing I understand about this tour is, in fact, when you guys have been writing your set list for this tour, you've actually been writing it in the picture form.
Yeah, I can't remember where that started. 'Cause I've got no talent in art. My talent's all in writing, but Alan does our set list, and I think it was something to do with I was doing a set list and it was just pathetically not legible, and so Alan started doing them very neat, and then I was like, draw pictures for me, and then it became a thing, and I think we're actually now, Alan's done them for every song on the new record. It's probably going up a t-shirt or something.
Okay.
But yeah, it's been a bit calamitous some nights because there's a song called Guilty and a song called Hostages, and I've confused the pictorial reference and announced the song, and then look round, the guy's going, it's not that song. So I've had to explain to the crowd that I've got a picture set list. So yeah, but it's been quite fun actually, because the fans seem to have enjoyed that, and little things like that always just entertain me anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Awesome. And of course, with the album coming up now in April, can we expect you guys to do a full UK headline tour?
Yeah, you can. We're actually headlining in April, and I think we start on the 3rd of April, and we pretty much run all through the UK for that month. And we're in Wales, we're in Swansea, not Cardiff this time, which is, we normally play Cardiff. In fact, I'm quite excited because we've only ever played Cardiff in Wales.
Okay.
So we're playing Swansea, maybe it's called Sin City. Yeah, don't know the date, not very helpful for you, but it's in April.
Okay.
And I'm really excited. I've obviously loved this tour, but when you're supporting, it's very much kind of on, intense 30 minutes, capture an audience and then off, whereas headlining you get to do a proper set and have a relaxed show with fans of your band. So I'm very excited for it.
Okay, cool. And it seems like you guys are going to be quite busy touring over the next few months, because you've announced a couple of one-day festivals as well, with the likes of Takedown Festival.
We've got it's really nice when you start to see them coming in, because that's because you've got an album coming in. We've got 4 or 5 of them kind of smaller but great festivals with great lineups, and hopefully do some other festivals still to be announced. And this year's about us touring, and we'll go to Europe and hopefully further afield. It depends on the success of the record, but I'm quietly confident in the feedback we've had so far about people who've heard it are very excited about it. So yeah, hopefully that'll enable us to go a bit further afield this time. I'd love to go to Japan, which we've never been to. That's my personal ambition, to take the band there. Hopefully that'll happen on this record finally.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can we expect anything else from you guys in the near future?
I've wrote the next album already, so
right.
As soon as I'm allowed, I'd like to record it.
Yeah.
But, I think the schedule would be probably you'll record in January 2015, but this year will just be album. I know we're putting out a couple of singles. It's a hard thing choosing singles for me, especially because I wrote everything. It's agony. I want every one of them to be given a shot. To be on the radio and stuff, but there's some front runners that everyone likes, so we'll do a couple of singles, tour, another tour. Hopefully I'd hope we do more than one UK tour this year, straight back after festival season, back around again. So yeah, just a lot of touring, videoing, radio, just the usual. The thing that I like, that's when I get excited, when I crave a schedule. Some people just want to go and relax, but when this tour finishes tonight, I'll just be probably bothering my managers all day tomorrow, what we're doing, what's going on. That's what I'm in a band for. I like talking about a band, and I like playing, and I like meeting people, just like this. There's not really many other jobs that you get to do this kind of thing, just go around talking about the thing you love and get to play rock shows. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, we're looking forward to hearing more from you guys in the future then.
Brilliant. Thanks very much.
Well, that's about it.
Cheers.
Cheers for doing the interview.
No worries at all. It was a pleasure. Hopefully come in and see you next time.
Yeah. Good luck with the show tonight and the tour and the release of the album in April.
Thank you very much.
And hopefully, as I said, I can catch up with you guys again very soon.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.